let's shift focus to India's agri sector then. The centre had in November last year released a draft national policy framework on agricultural marketing amid ongoing farmers' protests in the state of Punjab. But reports now suggest that the centre may not pursue this particular framework. Remember, there has been no public opposition from any state other than Punjab. Since it is voluntary in nature, states are free to issue a framework on their own. Agencies have also reported that if states agree on some of the proposals of the framework, those can be independently implemented by those states even without its formal adoption. To understand the draft national policy framework on agri marketing and the rationale of the government as to why they do not want to go ahead with Agri Reforms 2.0, we now have Mr. G. Chandrashekhar, commodity expert, now joining us. Sir, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now. First things first, could you explain to us the possible reasons as to why the government is not looking to go ahead with Agri Reforms 2.0 and what were the proposals and requests made by the farmers' organizations?
I'm disappointed if the report is true that the government is not going to press ahead with these agri reforms. If that is true, then I would be truly disappointed. There's a great national loss in my view, because the challenges that Indian agriculture and agribusiness, challenges that we are going to face in the coming years are going to be really daunting unless we reform our agriculture, unless we give up our business as usual attitude and adopt creative destruction. It's going to be rather challenging. We're already facing land constraints, water shortage, climate change, and now over and above all that, there'll be serious challenge to India's agri trade policy in terms of tariffs, both tariffs on export of Indian agri commodities and a substantial easing of tariffs on what India imports. For that's again going to create problem for domestic producers. I suspect we are not actually ready for lower tariffs on a number of agriculture commodities like say edible oils and pulses, etc., which can potentially hurt Indian growers.
That's as far as the implication and the impact is concerned. But would this have led to centralized norms for agri markets across the states in India? And if this doesn't go through, that is the Agri Reforms 2.0, what are the likely implications across the states?
We need big change, a very drastic change in our approach to cultivation, the agronomy, multiple technologies are required to be infused in Indian agriculture, be it information and communication technology, agriculture, biotechnology, nuclear agriculture technology, satellite technology, nanotechnology, drone technology, field robotics, digitization, whole lot of things. All these technologies, we need to invest our agriculture and agribusiness and a supply chain with these technologies. I strongly think that corporates who are dependent on imported commodities, like edible oils, for example, or even cotton for that matter, corporates should be encouraged to set up or establish backward linkages. What prevents large corporates that are dependent on imports from establishing backward linkages through contract farming? This was a great idea that came in 2020, but unfortunately it was withdrawn. This is something I would urge the government to again examine.
And sir, since reports are also suggesting that state governments can independently adopt parts of this framework, what are the chances of different states on the proposed agri reforms, and what are the takes of these particular individual states, and what is the likely implication of this?
No, I'm sure state governments realize the importance of agriculture, but look at most state governments they carry huge debt burden. The debt servicing cost itself is so big that there is hardly any money left for any developmental activity as far as agriculture is concerned. And for this is common for most states. For states would be interested, but they just don't have the money, and therefore we need to find a national solution for which again, in my view, the initiative must come from the central government. They need to talk to all the state governments and look at how to infuse multiple technologies in agriculture.
Mr. Chandrashekhar, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now and helping us decode what the implications could be if Agri Reforms 2.0 are not adopted by the central government. But
if you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.